I am one of 4 incredible host organizers who are not on camera with us today. We are celebrating Women's History Month. But I would be remiss if I did not give these amazing, incredible men an opportunity to just introduce themselves. So they're going to take a second to create a cameo. Where are my men? Where are my men? Okay, cool. That's one of them. That's 2, where's the third one? Because we're 3 men and a baby over here. Oh yes, 3 men and a baby. Where's Sean? Okay, we'll find Sean. Mark, thank you. All right, cool. So our podcast is what it is because we are here in the interest of creating community. We are celebrating Women's History Month. We'll introduce all the men in a moment. But we would be remiss if we did not introduce these men because, ladies, y'all tell me if I'm saying something wrong or right. It is hard to find one good man. I found 3. Okay? So I consider myself quite lucky, quite blessed to say that I not have one brother, but I have 3 brothers. And it literally, I said this earlier today, and it nearly brought me to tears, that to reflect and say that there are good men. There are, say it with me, there are good. Okay, well then help me out. There are great, amazing, phenomenal, incredible, wonderful, stupendous men around us. As a matter of fact, because this is not a gender nothing space, what we fit to do. Men, every man in this room, can you stand up and we will acknowledge you? Every man in the room, that's right, every man in this room, stand up. And we can come on, stand up, with your 7-foot something self. Please stand up. We welcome you, we acknowledge you, we cherish you, we value you, we appreciate you, we love you. More importantly, most importantly, we need you. Okay? Because some of you out here talking about what we don't need. We need strong men. We need powerful men. We need present men. We need vulnerable men. We need available men. You know what? We need men in development. Right? We're not honest enough about what it means to support and cherish and accept and value men who are trying to get it together. At least they say they try. Right? All right, cool. So look, we go on and on and on and on, but I got like 2.5 seconds to ask all of these phenomenal women some questions. We're gonna do a lightning round. We appreciate your engagement, your connection. This live studio audience vibe is like, it's giving. It's just giving. Because we had this last month, we got this one. Okay? So we're excited. We have launched very recently our first podcast. Give it up for the mic space. We are now live on YouTube as of about 2 days ago, but we have launched the podcast officially February 24th. Okay, so you all are meeting us on the ground floor. We're excited to do that. I'm gonna pass the mic, and I want each of these incredible women, I've already given them their first question, and so the question is, and what you'll hear them answer in the form of a response through their moment of introduction is the following. Who are you? What problem are you here to solve? And who are the people that are connected specifically to that purpose? Yes? So they will introduce themselves through the guise of these 3 questions. Without further ado, I introduce to you the good doctor, Isis Roberts.
Good evening. My name is Isis Roberts, and I am with Melodious Entertainment. That platform is for us to be able to really find and fulfill the potential and the needs of emerging artists. And at the same time, once that artist gets to a certain platform, then we're going to go ahead and manage them so that they're protected, because the entertainment world can be very dangerous and very harsh. So I'm here to make sure that our young people and even older artists are able to find their voice and be true to who they are and find their platform to get out there and be real about their artistry.
Come on, come on. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sabine Dessources. I am the owner of Lavish Touches Hair and Spa. We cater to busy working women in their 20s to 60s. We provide hair care, skincare, and massage. We also like to say that we create like a Lavish Touches experience where we let our hands do the talking because they are able to speak for themselves. So if you are a woman who is pouring from an empty cup, you feel stressed, you're working long hours, you need some relief from pain, you just need to replenish, then my job is to create the atmosphere where you are stress-free and able to be more productive and available to service your loved ones.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kayla J. Lindsey, or Kayla Jordan-Lindsey, and I am a survivor of almost giving up on life. After I lost my job 2 years ago, I went through depression. I was just very weak mentally, physically, and spiritually. And instead of giving up, instead of turning left, I turned right. I started praying, and God gave me the strength to get up and start writing my story. I was literally gone on the ground. I was broken down. I hit rock bottom. Almost gave up, confused after obtaining, several degrees and, spending money, not that you spend money on degrees. Almost lost my mind, but I did not lose my mind. I kept myself together. I had enough hope and faith. My husband here supported me, encouraged me, and motivated me, including my children as well, that it's not the end, that there's something more greater and deeper inside of you that I want you to do. He shifted me, in my calling, and today I am so happy. I am experiencing freedom and fulfillment in my calling now, encouraging others, inspiring others. Again, I could have turned left, but then I decided, I made a choice to turn right, to use my gift, my heart, to start writing, to start encouraging others that, hey, it's okay. If you're going through relationship issues, job issues, storms, struggling, then start writing that stuff down so you can help your neighbors, so you can help someone down the street. That's right. There are many around the world who are struggling in silence. They're going through things. They don't know what to do. And that's what I do. I give you that encouragement, that confidence and motivation to know that it's okay, that you're not alone in your fight, in your struggle, in your storm, that it's okay. Take what was broken, allow your pain to allow you to experience your passion, and that's what that did. My pain inspired me in my passion. I embraced it by writing, so that's what I help you all out with. If you have a story, I help motivate you, encourage you, write your story. And I also do offer consultations as well. So don't be afraid to share your testimony, your story. Everything is okay. Never give up. Have confidence, hope, and faith. Thank you.
I'm Kwamara Thompson. In terms of my mission, you read it on me. Can you guys read what my shirt says?
I'm a black woman. Yes, I matter.
Okay, so I see a lot of black women here in the space. I also see a lot of allies here in the space. So the black women I heard you guys read, I'm a black woman. Yes, I matter. And yes, you do. But for those of you guys who are not black women, this is what I want you to say. I love a black woman, and they matter. And that's what I do. This is basically a social brand about elevating the global voices of black women, our stories, our concerns, connecting us, through continents. We have a YouTube channel where we have people join us from all over the world. We have audiences and guest speakers from Jamaica, Germany, Denmark, Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, Liberia, all over. So it's about connecting us not just here in the United States, but globally. We also have a clothing line, so I'll talk about that, but I wear it literally every day. And if I'm not wearing my clothing line, my friends know, what am I wearing? Let's see, no one else. What would I wear if I'm not wearing my clothing line?
Some black owned.
Something black owned.
Okay.
Always. Somewhere on me there is something black owned all the time. I walk the talk, and I inspire others to do the same. Thank you.
All right, cool. So, first question on the floor. Say first question on the floor.
First question on the floor.
First question on the floor for our women's panel is, what do you identify as the most important thing a Black, female, entrepreneur, specialist, leader needs and wants? From your perspective, right? And you can, yeah? What do you identify Black female professional needs and wants?
Well, because of the nature of what I do, I feel like everyone needs to take a break. Give yourself a break. Because what happens is, if you don't take the break, your body will give it to you. And you don't want your body to give you a break because you don't know when you're going to recuperate. Because it's like, if you're always on that, it's like the stress cycle, the fight or flight response. So if you're constantly anxious, constantly like an A personality, always on the go, eventually your body will shut down. So you want to schedule that break. Take a breath. Go to the beach. The beach is free. Go to the park. Walk around your neighborhood. Get a massage, a facial. So hair care, because when you look good, you feel good, right?
Okay.
So take the time to pamper yourself, give back to yourself, and your body will thank you.
So mine is very close, right? I always use the statement that it doesn't matter how you start, that's important, but it's how you finish. Ladies, we're too hard on ourselves, and we have to be very mindful of that. As things progress, we have to realize and be sensitive enough to go ahead and make those adjustments. It's okay if something didn't happen the way we planned it, point by point, plan by plan. God has this wonderful thing laid out, and sometimes what we think is going to happen, it's not going to happen that way. So we need to be able to go ahead and take a step back. Take that time to relax and really recoup and rethink everything, so that way we can go ahead and get that divine vision once again on the next step that we have to do. Then that way, when the acceptance comes, because acceptance is the thing that we need, I think, as women, we're always looking for someone to be like, yes, pat on the back, pat on the back. But we got to be able to encourage ourselves to keep on going forward and keep moving. So those would be those areas.
Thank you. Listen, y'all are an amazing live studio audience. So these cheers and claps, I am here for it. How about I just hire all of y'all to just cheer and clap with me? Come on a second. All right, cool. Piggybacking on that, what does that actually look like? Because we do talk about the what a lot, and we don't talk about the how often enough. So what does it look like for a woman to practice acceptance? What's the how in practicing acceptance?
So the how in practicing acceptance is knowing what you truly desire, right? There was a time in my life where I was kind of worried about everybody else and how they think or what they would say or what I go about. And in that process, I was putting so much on myself that needed to not be there. So again, when we're true about our own identity, we're true about the things that we so desire, if we will accept the things as they are and understand that, I really tried to do what I could do at this point in time, but it didn't work at this time. Let me, again, take take that breather, drop it. I'm a musician, right? So as piano players and everything, we'll sit there and we'll beat ourselves up trying to get it. Over the last couple of months, I realized when there's a new part that I need to work on, I'll work on it for a little while. I will get up, walk away from the piano. I will come back the next day, not a few minutes later, the entire next day, and I played that part that I was scrambling all over for that whole entire time the day before. I play it perfectly. Why? Because I gave my mind and my body and my spirit time to really take in what needed to happen in order to make the proper corrections to be able to move forward. So we have to, again, take that break. And it's hard to do it sometimes, but we have to take that break so we'll be able to move forward.
Good. I want to direct a question to you, Kwamara. You are quite literally a champion of women, right? In the short time that you and I have known each other, I've experienced this in real time. You have a really, really great gift of rallying people around an idea, a message, a conversation, a means of community, building community, right? What are one of the biggest challenges or obstacles in wrangling, if you will, people, right? Like people who say, I want to do it, I want to be in the community, I want to and then when they come to the thing, they don't do the thing, right? What would you say is the biggest challenge or hurdle inside of that?
Well, first off, thank you for seeing me. Because sometimes I think we do this work and we feel invisible. So when someone acknowledges, I want to acknowledge you back and say thank you so much for seeing me. I really appreciate that. But yeah, in terms of how do I get people to actually rally and come together in community and really be about it and not just talk about it, I'm a little bit of a bugaboo. I'm gonna be honest. I create action plans and I'll literally be like, oh, you said you won't be part of this? I'll swing off. I set up a WhatsApp group, a document, a Google Doc, and I'm like, okay, y'all say you're gonna be part of it. Here's the plan. Let's go. I want to hear everybody's voices, and I will be literally holding people accountable. But I'll say that I think one of the main reasons that I can get ish done is because I want to foster safe spaces. So I accept people for who they are. However you want to show up, I receive you. And hopefully you allow me to be unapologetically who I am. This is really important to me. So for example, I walk in a lot of spaces, and I think sometimes people think Kwamara only comes dressed like this when she's around black folks. It's not true. I've gone to country clubs, I've been at board meetings, I've been asking people for millions of dollars, and I show up reading black, being black, unapologetically so. Okay? Because I know who I am, I walk in my authentic self, we're not putting on airs, and I find that people receive that and are willing to give you the same because you're vulnerable enough to show up in that way. So I'm gonna give you an example. I walk around with sunglasses pretty much all the time. People are always asking me, can you take your sunglasses off? Can you take your sunglasses off? No, I can't. These are prescription. And I'm gonna tell you a story about how I got afflicted with this. I'm a soccer player. I traveled the world, the country from age 8 to 18 playing soccer. And one of the things that people don't talk to you about is that, especially girls soccer, TBIs are actually pretty prevalent. That's something in the literature that's coming around. And I used to get knocked on my head quite often with the ball in other people's heads when we're defending, we're going for stuff. And I had a time where I came home and I had my first migraine. I said, Mom, I don't feel good. My mother's a doctor, by the way. She said, okay, we'll just lay down. I did not wake up for 72 hours. She was very concerned, as you can imagine. I wake up, she's like, we go to the doctor. I'm diagnosed with having a migraine and an underlying seizure disorder. One of those things is now I have a light sensitivity. So if I take off my sunglasses, we could trigger a seizure disorder. We could trigger my migraines to come up. That's why I wear these glasses. I'm telling you in this space because I'm being vulnerable. Oftentimes as black women, we're not allowed to show our flaws. So I've turned my flaw into a strength, right? Because now I get compliments on my glasses all the time. They were like, baby, you look fly in glasses. But that's why I did it. Because I had to learn how to change something that was a flaw and make it into a straight. But ultimately, how I get things done, I show up unapologetically. I want us to be vulnerable together. I always show up first with if I want you to do something and be vulnerable with me, I'm going to model that behavior first and foremost. I'm going to trust in that relationship, and oftentimes that is reciprocated.
Awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, Ms. Kayla, I've got a question for you. Now, this is a question in form of like 3 words. If you had to give us 3 words from your books, from the series of books that you have written as an author, that words that like just continue to keep coming up, and these words were essentially the heartbeat of your message, what would those 3 words be?
Yes, one would be confidence. The next word would be determination and faith. You have to have confidence in what you're telling, your story. And by me sharing my story, I had to get to a point to where I was confident enough to step out on faith, to share what others would not do, that they didn't have the courage to do. So I had to rise and say, it's okay, it's fine to share your story because somebody else down the street or in your neighborhood is going through the same situation. So I got to a point to where I was no longer afraid to share struggles and storms that I dealt with, because I knew someone else in my same neighborhood, in my same workplace or church area or family dealt with the same situation. And that allowed me to speak, to share, to inspire others. Having that determination that no matter what I experienced, that I know that I would succeed and rise with them.
Awesome. Thank you. So we've heard a little bit from each of the ladies. I want to throw this question. This is a little bit of a wild card, all right? But I also want to ask this question of our audience. So I want you to give us some feedback if you're feeling so inclined to like throw it back to us. We want to hear your response on this. I don't like the term so much devil's advocate, but I do like double advocate, right? I want you to play double advocate for me for a second. And the question on the full floor is, do you believe that it is possible, this one is a yes or no, do you believe that it is possible to make money as an entrepreneur, as a business leader, creative in your community, artist, and serve at the same time? Yes or no? Okay. Any no's in the room on this? Like that you could make money and serve? You got a no on this? As a double advocate, you got a no on this? No, but as a double advocate. Come on, baby, because the mic speaks. The mic speaks. Come on, baby.
Devil's advocate would say you can make money, but someone else that's a bit more ruthless would come in and undercut you and take your business, and then either you sort of become like them or you lose.
Ah, okay, so like the E or B-E-N, dog eat dog.
Well,
Okay.
May I interject for a second?
Yes.
I would say there are scalable ways to this, and we've seen this play out before. For instance, Tom's Shoes, Warby Parker. That's another way of doing social impact work without having to affect your bottom line. In fact, it improves your bottom line.
Okay.
So in that context, definitely yes.
Yes. Okay, so just for the microphone, for the purposes of the microphone and the recording, essentially what I'm going to echo back is we're hearing that you can, through the guise or through the lens of social justice, continue to make an impact in a way that doesn't impact or affect your bottom line. So y'all in agreement with that? Yeah. So devil's advocate is like along the lines of this question, what does that look like for us to do both, to not do both? Yeah.
Okay, so I think that question comes from a scarcity mindset. And I say that because there are trillions of dollars in the world. There was enough money for all of us. If every single one of us were in the same industry, we could still all eat well in the same industry. There is enough money for that. It's a scarcity mindset to believe that we have to be in cutthroat competition with one another. And I want us to challenge that belief system. When we say there's trillions of dollars, that's what that means. None of us need trillions of dollars to live. We can share that. I have several models, but one of them is, I eat, you eat, we eat. That's where one of my communities, Let's Break Bread Global, comes from. That's that entire idea that we're not in competition, we're in collaboration with one another. So let's have a positive mindset and not a scarcity mindset when it comes to resources. And by the way, money is just one type of resource. There are multiple types of resources and multiple definitions of success. So don't pigeonhole yourself based off of other people's definition.
That's it.
Very good. All right. Second wild card is, do any of our audience members have a question or a curiosity for either of our panelists? 3, 2. I'm a volunteer. Okay. All right, Noelle.
All right, well, I actually have a question for my friend Kwamara.
Okay.
Because she spoke about one part of her, entrepreneurial endeavors, but I'm curious to know about the other entrepreneurial endeavors that she has embarked on that have helped her become a, empowered businesswoman. And so I want her to talk a little bit more about that.
Okay. I swear I did not put her in the audience as a plug. But so I don't often tell the story, but I will because I'll go here. So when I was 8 years old, this is where my entrepreneurial journey first started. Anyone who was an entrepreneur as a kid, sold stuff to your friends, to your parents, or had your parents hustle up to the office, the whole thing, Girl Scout cookies. Okay. So I was 8 years old, and I would come home, and my mom knew that I loved to write. In my mind's eye, I'm a writer. And so I would write, and then I would illustrate very badly. I'm not very good at drawing. And I would create children's books. And then I would, take my time, 3-hole punch them, and bind them together. And guess what I did? I went to school and sold at 8 years old children's books to other children. As if I wasn't a child myself. But I say that to say that I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit. But yeah, in terms of some of the other endeavors, I have an education and technology consulting company where we are really talking about putting humanity forward through data-driven instruction, blended learning. These are just, and then through internet. But when I say human first, this is really important. It's not about the technology, it's about the human being who's going to use the technology. There's a lot of us who are in tech, and I sit in a lot of tech spaces, and people will tell you about their new thing. Oh man, look at this cool gadget I got. I'm like, cool, how's that gonna actually work in the classroom? Or how's that actually work in somebody? Is that actually helpful to somebody's life? Or does it detract from it? So let's talk about the user, the human experience. So that's the ed tech piece. I also invest in real estate. I do some real estate investing. But the main reason I do these things is because I 100% believe that education and entrepreneurialism are the ways to grow generational wealth in this country. Anybody you know who is truly, truly, truly wealthy are entrepreneurs. They are not worker bees. I'm not trying to be funny about that, but they're just not. They are entrepreneurs and they own real estate. Those are the two main ways that people are building generational wealth. So that's the pattern that I've been going under, and so I've now transformed my education technology consulting company into a diversified holding corporation, which is what Warren Buffett has, which means that you have multiple holdings that are multiple streams of income that source up to one larger corporation. So that's it, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go too much into it, but thank you, Noah.
But we appreciate you sharing that, and I want to create an opportunity for people to not just scrape over it. You did something that other people in this room need to know how to do, and so we definitely want to engage with you. As a matter of fact, let me pause and do that right now, okay? I need you to have everybody in this room following you on whatever primary platform you want them to follow you on, so that they can slide in DMs and ask you how to help them develop holdings. Because your girl needs to know, I need to know how to do that too. How do we find you?
Okay, you can find me on IG at I am a black woman. Yes. All one word. Very easy. It's written all over me.
Y'all got y'all phones? Y'all
Take those phones
out.
out. I better see about 20 DMs. You are allowed to slide into my DMs tonight.
Get the pad.
Okay, sorry. Wait. What? Don't start now. Don't be now.
That's a different episode.
Right. That's not this one. All right, cool. Now that we're doing that, let's just run down the line. It's Kayla Jordan-Lindsey, author, and not just author, self-published author of several books, and does consult to support you to tell your story, right? So she is not just an author out here writing and producing and publishing her own work. She has done it several times and successfully so. So if any of you are interested or have thought or teased the idea of writing your own book or telling your own story, you now have a consultant or a space. How did you do it, right? So tell us how do we slide in your DM so we can learn more about how to do that?
Yes, so take your phones out, y'all.
They got it.
Take
They
your
got
phones
it.
out.
You just tell us what
So,
it
it's Kayla, K-A-L-A, Jordan, Lindsey.com. K-A-L-A, Kayla Jordan Lindsey. .com. That's actually my website. So you can find me on Facebook, Kayla Jordan Lindsey. I'm also on Instagram and LinkedIn as well. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Under my name. Lindsey is L-I-N-D-S-E-Y. So K-A-L-A Jordan Lindsey, L-I-N-D-S-E-Y.
Thank you. Sabine, how do we find you?
So initially, everything was hair care related. So if you look up Lavish Touches Hair, you'll see custom wigs, braids, anything hair, right? But now we pivoted since the pandemic, and we're going to incorporate massage and skincare.
Yes.
So you're going to put Lavish Touches, massage, and skincare just to get the massage piece.
So thanks to the help of Mimi, who's one of my pushers, because for the last 26 years I was doing this, still doing this with somebody else, but now I'm starting my own. So we're at Melodious Entertainment. That's on Instagram, that's Melodious, Melodious, ENT. We are just started today on Instagram, and we're ready to rock it out. I got a couple of artists in the room as well, so let's look it out.
So congratulations on the premiere of, or the launch of your social media platform. You need everybody in this room following you, quite literally. So y'all hold my girl down. Oh, number 6 is counting. Come on, where my number 7 at? Give me a 7, give me a 7, give me an 8, give me an 8, give me a 9, give me a 9, give me a 10, give me a 10. Better. I don't know what you can say. Better. All right, so let's make sure to drive those social media channels up and not follow just for the sake of following, but to say that, look, I know you in person, I have met you in person, and I am intending to connect with you online to ensure that the support you have there is the support you have in real time. Some of y'all are really good at supporting online, and then when it comes to in person, y'all be acting funny. Okay, stop acting funny. Right? Like, we have to do a better job as a community. I'm being funny, but I'm being really serious when I say this. Professional networking doesn't work if you don't work on the relationship. So work on the relationship. Yes, please? Gareth, I see you. Good to see you, sir. I met this gentleman one time, and I'm really good at faces and names. I just happen to be, theater baby. You gotta learn stuff real fast and keep it, hold it. Gareth, it's good to see you. I mean, I'm not just calling him out, but I happen to see you in between people. But there are many of you in this space that I would love to get to know personally. You have have something that I don't, and I have something that you don't, right? Who is it? Bill Nye, one of my favorite guys. He says, everybody in the room knows something that you don't. So if you stop long enough to learn, you can be much richer, right? One of my things, and I did not say what I do as an entrepreneur. I am a professional development coach, leadership development coach, so I go into organizations and identify what, at the executive level, are the highest and largest pain points for an organization, and support them through organizational change management to strengthen the culture of the workplace. What is specific about this niche is that I close generational gaps. Right now in this era, whether you're in technology or in education or in science or, right, all of the is's, whatever you need, there are up to four generations in one workspace. They're not talking to each other, they're talking at and around each other. And so what I do as a specialist is connect innovation of our future with the wisdom of our past. Because the old heads are saying, this is the way we've always done it. I don't know why I need to use that voice. That's what it sounds like in my head, like, this is the way we've always done it. And the young people are going, there's an app for that? Right? And like they're saying, what takes you 4 weeks to do, we can do that in 4 hours. Like, just use our method. And the OGs are saying, that's disrespectful, get out of the way, youngin'. And I'm saying, you both need each other, right? So that's what I do for a living. I get to say that before. But we're gonna wrap this up because I got a director, cameraman who's looking at me like, this.
What's your social media?
My social media, thank you so much for asking, my love.
Yeah, tell us about your DMs.
Oh, you can start in the ranks. But I am not available. Aww, that's a collective aww. No, I am available for business inquiries only. That's how you do that, for business inquiries only. I am at Empower Us Now. Empower Us Now is my personal plug, right? So you want to find me and my work as a leadership development coach and consultant at Empower Us Now. But please, everyone in this room, I need you to follow us at The Mic Speaks. One word, THEMIC, Speaks. Please and thank you. Some of you are online with us, and we appreciate you. But again, as we're building this platform, we want you to understand that this is not just a space for connection, it is a space for community. So we don't want to be the only ones posting on our platform. We want you to actually literally slide in our DMs and tell us what to say. Because we're reflecting and echoing your voices, your stories, your experiences. Did you all enjoy this tonight?
Yeah.
All right, that sounded like y'all kind of enjoyed it. Did you enjoy this tonight?
Yes.
Awesome. Our Women's History Month panel was not designed to be so hyper-focused on the woman. As you could hear and see, quite literally, we have conversations about people. About people who are real people, who are going through some real things, because life be lifing, okay? And time be timing.
Okay.
But space is what we're creating. We're creating safety and spaces for us to connect and bring our full, authentic selves into the space, right? So I come from the universe of being an artist and an educator. And I went from teaching students to teaching teachers, and then started my own consulting firm because essentially the same debilitating cycles that I saw students experience were happening among adults. And because we did not go back and close the gaps. So the systems that are broken because everyone was expecting everybody else to do it, right? College professors hope that when you come into their lecture hall, you know what you're doing because you're a college student, right? But high school teachers were hoping that middle school teachers prepared you for their classes. Elementary teachers were hoping that your parents potty trained you before you got to VPK. So if everybody's looking back and nobody's filling the gaps, we continue to see these cycles and We run on repeat. We rinse and repeat. What we're doing here is something different. Y'all say do something different. Do something different. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something different. Let me make a plug real quick so I can bring my Mike Speaks folks back up. I created a t-shirt.
Oh, that was what you were saying. I created a t-shirt.
No, that's what's clap for you, girl. I created a t-shirt that quite literally says, do something different. Go find me on Etsy. Oh no, go find me on Etsy. Okay? I am under Positivity, T as in t-shirt. You like that? Ain't that cute? Positivity brand. So find me. The reason why I'm saying this is because what I have been able to do is step outside of a very real shell, right? And that is explore the space of e-commerce, right? I did that with the help of Sacha Shah Saint-Cyr, who was one of our 4 and was quite literally missing. So I want to bring back our team and close out the podcast. So my 3 men, please join me, rejoin me. I want to tell everybody thank you and good night. Listen, I told you, nanny, boo. I got 3 on. Yeah, so there, yes, hi. So there we are. So I'm gonna just give the microphone to us and then we will say good night collectively. We still on the camera or we not on the camera? All right, cool. Oh, it's still running, so we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up the podcast. We thank you so much for joining us. Our live audience, give it up for yourselves. This was incredible because you were here. So thank you. So Evans, Shah, Sam, you all introduce yourselves and then say goodnight, please. Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Oh, hell no. Have a good night. I appreciate everybody for coming out. And let's do it again next month, but even better.
Sacha.
Yeah, come on.
Right.
You are on camera. What is happening?
I know. He wants his own camera.
Say something. Y'all so beautiful.
We know who's the camera.
I wish Women's History Month was every month. Nah, seriously. I think we should celebrate y'all on a regular basis. Somebody should order y'all Uber Eats. I'm just saying, whenever y'all hungry. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate y'all. All right. Hello. How are you tonight? Great? All right, so we have to say a special thank you to our queen. So we have queens here, but let's say thank you to our queen, Miriam. Thank you for everything, and it's what time is it right now? So it's only 9:12. So all we have to do right now, go Mango, talk to your friends. Please do not leave without a minimum of 5 phone numbers, DMs, contacts, social handles, everything. Make sure that you stay connected. That's the goal. The goal is not to come here and have fun. Only have fun, but when you come here, you stay connected because remember, we are building a community, we are building wealth together, and we are building everything together. When I say together, remember, that word is?
Together.
Again?
Together.
Enjoy your night.
front of the cameras. We have enjoyed this opportunity to connect with you online and in person. So we look forward to continuing the conversation and critical dialogue about community, connection, and furthering the cultivation of relationships. We want to thank our sponsors. Thank you so much. Melodious Entertainment. We want to thank our sponsors, Beachbox. I would be remiss if I did not call you. Tell me everybody, please.
Solution.
Solutions.
Living Unit.
Yes.
Shout out to Serge for the music.
Yes.
Monsieur. Merci beaucoup pour la musique. On n'arrête jamais à danser. If y'all feel like dancing, don't hesitate to shake.
Awesome. We thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And until then, the mic speaks. Good night. And that is a wrap. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. We encourage you to continue in conversation and connection, networking, grab drinks, grab phone numbers, engage. We love you.